Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I've seen campers that look like rolling palaces, and I've seen ones that look like they've been dragged through 3 decades of bad decisions. But the 1949 Willys Jeep station wagon camper, that's the kind of rig that makes you want to grab a thermos of coffee, throw in your fishing rod, and just disappear for a weekend that somehow turns into a month. Before we dive into this vintage beauty, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to CampAvto, where we turn nostalgia and motor oil into entertainment, and probably a few questionable life choices along the way. Now, the 1949 Willys station wagon came from Toledo, Ohio, courtesy of Willys-Overland Motors. Back then, SUV wasn't even a word, but this thing basically invented the idea. It had a 104-inch, 2,642 millimeters wheelbase, was 174 inches long, 4,420 millimeters, 68 inches wide, 1,730 millimeters, and stood about 72 inches tall, 1,830 millimeters. Under the hood, you got 2 engine options: the 134 cubic inch 2.2L flathead 4-cylinder Go Devil, or the fancier 148.5 cubic inch 2.4L Lightning Straight 6. Both ran through a column-shifted Borg-Warner T90 3-speed manual, and if you've ever tried to find third gear on one of those, you know why it's called manually operated character building. The chassis? All steel, no fake wood panels like those Woodies. I believe that's one of the reasons these wagons survive longer, less termite drama. And when Willys decided to add a 4x4 version in 1949, the world suddenly got a vehicle that could take your whole family, your dog, and half your garage up a mountain trail. This particular camper conversion keeps that rugged base, but adds period-correct camping gear. Roof-mounted tent, water tanks, storage compartments. The whole "let's live off the grid before Instagram made it cool" package. The interior could originally seat 6, but when converted, the benches likely folded out into a bed, with extra storage for gear. I think what I liked the most is how it manages to look like a family wagon from the outside, but hides the heart of an adventurer on the inside. The suspension runs semi-elliptical leaf springs all around. Brakes are old-school drums, and the 4x4 transfer case means you can crawl through mud, sand, or your neighbor's yard if you miss a turn. Ground clearance is about 8.3 inches, 210 millimeters, which isn't bad for a vehicle that predates disco. Now, one restored metallic green example sold for around $25,300, approximately $23,900, and I think that's a fair deal for something that's part museum, part mountain goat. Of course, buyers should check the usual suspects: rust in floor pans, brake condition, and whether the tent still smells like adventure or just old canvas. Would I drive it cross-country? Absolutely. Would I trust it to climb Pikes Peak? Maybe, as long as my buddy Carl brings a tow strap. Still, there's something charming about a rig that looks ready to camp, haul, and maybe even survive the apocalypse.